All right, enough Newcastle. How about some quick hits instead?
Let's go, Gav.
A late goal from somebody named Gonzalo Garcia gives Real Madrid a 3-2 win over Leganés in the Copa del Rey. Jules Ancelotti makes it up, rested players ahead of the big derby, and Leganés battled from 0-2 to 2-2.
Yeah. It was quite a cool game, to be fair, because no Bellingham, no Mbappe, who are not even with the squad. Vini on the bench.
A lot of Modric.
Modric scored a great goal. Hendrick as well, 2-0 up. You think, okay, even away from home at Leganés, this is it for Real Madrid. And then, no, Leganés come back, a bit lucky, but come back still. And then after that, you think, maybe it goes to extra time, which is not what Real Madrid would have wanted 3 days before the Madrid derby. And Gonzalo Garcia, one of the Castilla player, there was a lot of them either on the bench or who have played at some point. Just scored this great. It's a great goal as well. It's like such a nice finish. And then the celebration is great. Clearly meant a lot to him as a kid. And he just basically saved his team.
I think 19 goals in 22 games, something like that, for Castilla in the third flight.
Yeah.
When you look up and you see Hendrick ahead of you, you're like, so yeah, very happy for him.
Yeah, exactly. And sticking with Real Madrid, Gabi, they have a huge derby with Atletico, as we mentioned, this weekend. And Atletico took the opportunity to troll them.
Yeah, so obviously we talked about this. They were completely jobbed by some refereeing decisions at the weekend. Above all, the guy wasn't sent off, who then scored the winner for Espanyol for that foul on Kylian Mbappe. They released an official statement, Comunicado Oficial. The events that took place in this match have exceeded any margin of human error, refereeing interpretation. And talked about a completely discredited refereeing system. Decisions against Real Madrid reached a level of manipulation and adulteration, no longer be ignored, blah, blah, blah. They got the drones on Real Madrid TV to go and repeal this endlessly. It's an obvious way to preemptively, like, the calls went against them. The goals were wrong.
Yeah, true. And they do this all the time. It's not just now.
But they do this. Yeah, they do this with any kind of marginal thing, and they do it ahead of the derby. And it's a way to put pressure on whatever poor soul has been selected for the derby. And so Atleti had some fun with it. Yeah. They released. There's like, if you ever shop at IKEA, you get those sort of instructions that come with it for flat pack self-assembly. And they had the basic instructions to assemble your derby. And it was like, study the opponent, train hard. And then
the last one, the fourth one.
Yeah, the last one was preemptively complain about the referee and put pressure on him. So again, not a great look. No. But it is what it is.
Atletico Madrid, meanwhile, stomp over Getafe en route to a 5-0 win in the Copa del Rey as Giuliano Simeone backs 2 goals. Gav, fair to say that he surpassed his big brother, Gianluca, but he's still far away from his dad. And what about the middle one?
Well, his big brother Gianluca plays for Real Madrid. I think he surpassed him a while back. Think about Gio Simeone, who plays for top of the table Napoli in Serie A. Although he doesn't start, whereas Giuliano's imposed himself as a starter.
True.
They'll never surpass. Neither one of these guys will surpass the dad. It just is not going to happen. But he's really given this team a lift mid-season. This was good. They keep getting people involved. Angel Correa with 2 goals as well. Yeah. So it's a great position to be in. I love the fact that all 3 of them have Italian first names, because their mom, I'm pretty sure, is Italian.
Yeah.
Cristiano Ronaldo turned 40 years young.
Woo! Happy birthday.
Jules, we have a whole video tribute to him and lots of content on our site. He's been celebrating by granting a bunch of interviews, including one where he described himself as the most complete player in history. Even more so, you were telling us how complete Alexander Isak was. Yeah. Cristiano Ronaldo more complete, yeah?
Yeah. He said basically he's the best ever. He says
no, he said he's the most complete ever.
But he also said there's nobody better than me because I'm the most complete. So I'm the best in the world ever that has ever existed. That's his words in Spanish. Because nobody's more complete than me. He said you can prefer Messi, you can prefer Pelé, you can prefer Maradona. He name checks all of them. But he said, but I'm the best because I'm the most complete. And it's true. He makes a good point which has been made before. But he said he looked at the stats of his goals with his left foot. And he said, I'm not left-footed, but I looked at my goals, how many goals I scored with my left foot. And I'm in the top 3 of most left foot goals ever scored by the same player, or something, or top 5 or something crazy like that, which is true. He's an incredible player, the GOAT, your GOAT, one of the GOATs, wherever where you want to put it. It's incredible. The fact that he's still playing at 40, still scoring goals. He's on 923 goals in his career now.
That's the Fugazi goals for club plus country thing. Yes, he scored a lot of goals.
He just scored 923 goals in his career. This is what it is. So he wants to get to 1,000. I think he will. It would take him another 18 months, 2 years. I don't know how long. But yeah, it's an incredible longevity.
You also had something to say about the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, he said that he lacked credibility simply because he didn't win it when he thought he should have, basically, because he was very happy and he was very credible when he used to win it. Now that he's not winning it anymore, he's not credible. The now defunct North American Soccer League, Gabby, lost its antitrust case against Major League Soccer, MLS, and the US Soccer Federation. Gab, what is this all about? What's this argument?
So this goes back like 10 years because, as you know, lawyers and the wheels of justice grind very slowly. But basically, it was a league which didn't have spending caps. You had the New York Cosmos in it. You had Miami FC and a bunch of other clubs. New York Cosmos had Raul, in fact, for a while. And basically, they said they wanted to create their own league independent of Major League Soccer, but they need to be sanctioned. They need to get official approval from the U.S. Soccer Federation. And they were unhappy that they didn't get the status, and they launched a lawsuit saying that essentially the system was kind of rigged against them.
Right.
Had they won this case, it would have cost MLS and the U.S. Soccer Federation more than $500 million.
Right.
They said they will appeal. I think there are some aspects to it where they may have an argument on some things, but then I think what undermines them is also the behavior. Rocco Commisso, of course, owns Fiorentina as well. It's a good warning not to let older people near social media. He set up a burner account called like Fan Global, something like that. And on this burner account, he used to badmouth Don Garber, the MLS commissioner. He compared him to Harvey Weinstein.
Right.
Not a pretty nice thing to do. He compared other executives to Bernie Madoff and the Ponzi scheme. Again, when you get into burner accounts, stuff like that, you lose a lot of credibility. So we have more quick hits.
Yes.
Tammy Abraham bags 2 goals against his parent club, and Milan beat Roma 3-1 to advance to the Copa Italia semi-final. Jules, is Sergio Conceição getting a handle on things, or given how inconsistent this team is, just another high after the inevitable low coming up this weekend?
I mean, I think I would still go for the inconsistency because this is a good win for them and they had to win, and that is, I guess, a bit of the pressure or expectation, things like that. But this was a very open game. I'm not sure I really
A lot of chances on both sides.
Yeah, both sides. I think high XGs on both sides. Not really sure I agreed with Claudio Ranieri to have benched off Big, for example, and things like that on the Roma side. For the Milan side, we saw Tammy with 2 really good goals. The first finish on the header on that cross by Theo is pretty good. Joao Felix comes on and scores a lovely little chip over the keeper. That proved very important, obviously, because it was a 2-1. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of positive, but there's also a lot of things you can still to work on. Leo was on the bench, for example. Does that mean anything, or is just a bit rested? Yeah, I don't know. I think...
And Santiago Jimenez.
He came on and gave the assist to Joao Felix. Exactly, that was pretty good. That Bayer Leverkusen leg comeback. Voodoo is still a thing, Gab. We were not sure this season, but they go 2 goals down at home in the German Cup against Cologne, and they bounce back to win 3-2.
Yeah, this was proper voodoo. Yeah, they went out. They absolutely. There's a rivalry with Cologne. I mean, as big as Leverkusen rivalries get. Cologne, of course, in the second division. They go two goals down after creating a bunch of chances early. Both goals on the counter, and then you figure this is all falling apart. And then it gets a 2-1, and then 6 minutes of injury time. Boom! There's Patrick Schick.
Again.
Once again. And then Victor Boniface, of course, in extra time. And then there's further drama because Cologne score to make it 3-3. But no, VAR ruins the day.
Your boy Santiago Castro comes on, scores the only goal as Bologna dumped Atalanta out of Coppa Italia and their week only got worse when it was confirmed that Giorgio Scalvini and Gianluca Scamacca were out until the end of the season.
Yeah, I guess this is why they picked in Posh and Maldini. Obviously, Maldini totally different profile from Scamacca, but they're 2 huge losses for the Italian national team as well, by the way. Scalvini, I think, is a phenomenal defender. I'm very happy for Santiago Castro. I think the guy's exceptional. I don't understand why he doesn't start every game. He is the Punisher. And scored a tremendous goal. Dennis Undav scores, and Stuttgart beat Augsburg 1-0 to advance to the semifinals of the German Cup. Jules, your thoughts, Mr. Hoeneß?
Yeah, that was good. I mean, this is a good season for them. Okay, maybe not
after
as
they
good.
Gutted his team. By the way.
Yeah. Not as good as last season, but nothing could really compete and beat what happened last season. They lost key players. We've said that before. It's a shame that in the Champions League they just came up a little short. But the Pokal is great for them. It's great. I think they will finish maybe top 5 in the league, and if they can do well and maybe win the German Cup, it'd be great for them. So this was a controlled performance, good performance. They deserve to go through, and now they're through.
Double D, Desiree Doué and Speedy Barcola scores. Paris Saint-Germain cruise past third-tier Le Mans in the Coupe de France. Anything to report here, Jules?
Absolutely not. It was a dire game. Really not good. PSG just did the bare minimum to qualify. The pitch was bad. Le Mans are not a bad team. They're actually decent in the third division. There's just no match. Even if Luis Enrique rested a lot of the starters, played a bit kind of a B team if you want with youngsters and etc. etc.
Speedy Barcola thanks you for including him
he
with
came
the
on.
B team.
He didn't start. He came on.
Yeah, but you should have given him a day off. He's Speedy Barcola.
Yeah, but he came on.
He's your second top scorer.
True. Although we saw Presnel Kimpembe coming back after 2 years. Presco, this is for you. Very good. And he had 10 horrendous minutes. Literally, he kept making mistake after mistake. I guess when you don't play for 2 years and you come back, it's not easy. But he will get better. But it's so good to see him back on the pitch.
Captain Future, right?
Yeah, well, it should be, yeah.
It's time! It's time! It's Texter time! Jules, his holding company, Eagle Football, which controls Lyon and Botafogo, among others, claim they've generated additional revenue of 83 million euros thanks to the departures of a whole bunch of guys, including Wilfried Zaha and Cacré and Gift Orban. I mean, he's going to be so good. From Lyon, and also guys from Botafogo, like Junior Santos, and of course the other Luis Enrique, not the guy who scored at the weekend.
Marseille,
this is Luis Enrique who went to Zenit, by the way. Let's see if the sanctions mean the money still comes in. Who knows? Plus, Michelle Kang has upped her stake in the women's team. How confident are you that this will satisfy the DNCG and that they won't get relegated as they've been promised?
Yeah, because remember he went to see the appeal committee of the federation who said, no, the sanctions are staying, which he didn't understand. People in France kept saying to him, you cannot mix the bank accounts of Botafogo and Lyon. It just doesn't work like
this. Which he just did with his statement. We've raised 83 million with these clubs. Like, dude, why didn't you sell this Luis Enrique, the one with the ass? If you had sold him to Zenit for 35 million, then you can count it in Lyon's books. I don't understand. It's a different club.
Yeah, I don't know. They obviously prevented Ryan Cherky to go to Dortmund on transfer deadline day because they didn't have enough time to replace him. So those 22 million euros are not in the bank account, and they will let the academy. I think they will sell the academy building and infrastructure to Michelle Kang so she can put the women there. The academy will go back to where the first team is. That
the first team, they can all sleep at home and get
no, because they're not. But they're in two different kind of training grounds. So they will have they'll have the same training ground, which will raise a bit of money. I don't know. They're saying, as you can imagine, they're saying, yeah, we'll be fine. Let's wait until we get to June and see.
This concept, and he says, like, oh no, this is too complicated for you to understand. I'm sorry, like, you've got a bunch of clubs and they're part of the same holding company. The holding company has money. You either put it in the club or you leave it in the holding company. You can't triple count it.
Yeah.
Paris Saint-Germain and Paris FC are now both owned by some of the richest people in the world. And both have stadium issues, Jules. Paris is just too expensive.
I guess it is. We know that the city of Paris doesn't want to sell the Parc des Princes to PSG like they want. So they could refurbish it, extend it, put hotels around, shops, etc., etc. So PSG are saying, okay, well, if you don't want to sell us the Parc des Princes, we're going to go and live and play somewhere else. So they're looking at other places around Paris.
Of which there are many, because Paris it's such a spread out city, right?
But
and
I mean, they will
so
go
many empty spaces.
They will go outside of Paris, so they will
in
find
the burbs.
Yeah.
In Bondy,
not even far. No. They probably go south. No, not north. Not north.
Yeah.
They will go south or west. But they would.
Where the other airport is.
No. They're going to try to stay around where the training ground is in Poissy, where the southwest of Paris is, where the Parc des Princes is still. And there are stuff there. There's a racing track, for example, that has been unused for many, many years with loads of space. So we will see. I still think that with elections coming up in 2026 in Paris, something could change maybe. For Paris FC, it's different because they have a stadium now that they rent to the city of Paris.
But it's a dump.
Charletti. It's just not, it's an athletic stadium, so it's not good.
So they can move into the Parc des Princes?
No, they want to move to Jean-Bouin, which is the rugby stadium for the Stade Français rugby team, which is literally across the road from the Parc des Princes. The two stadiums are literally, if there's just a street in between them two. That creates problems because you can't play when PSG are playing the same weekend. You can't play when the Stade Français are rugby.
Milan and Inter don't play at home on the same day. And we won a whole bunch of Champions Leagues.
True. But you also share with the rugby team the pitch. So you can't play when the rugby team is playing that weekend. Right. So it's a bit complicated. So let's see. Basically, it's a bit of a mess. But we'll see where that goes. The Swiss model is obviously very popular in Belgium, Gab.
So much so that Bruges, home to, of course, Mr. Champions League, Hans van Aken.
Of course.
They've put forward a proposal, which could be voted on next week, saying, hey, guys, this whole league system, home and away,
format,
let's change the format. Let's have a Swiss model, so we'll play 16 games in the first save, and then in the first phase, and then we're going to have playoffs, knockouts, however they want to do this. They've screwed around with the model in Belgium. They like experimenting in Belgium.
They have playoffs already. They have loads of playoffs. They've got
a lot of layouts, complicated ones, stuff like that. I just think this is interesting. I can imagine people's heads would explode if they did this in England or more traditional places. But I guess Belgium, the cutting edge of competition development worldwide.